In a far-off future, where technology and consciousness blend seamlessly, humanity has unlocked an astonishing capability: the ability to access a shared dream world. This realm is vast and boundless, an ethereal plane where thoughts, memories, desires, and fears mix together, forming an ever-shifting landscape. It's a place of wonder and danger, where one could wander endlessly without a guide. This is where dream keepers come in. Caden had worked as a dream keeper for over a decade, helping people navigate this dream world, leading them to peace, self-discovery, and even transcendence. His role, as he saw it, was one of balance, to ensure that no one wandered too far into the depths of their subconscious, losing themselves in illusions that could feel more real than reality itself. But despite his years of experience, Caden always felt that there was something more, something beneath the surface of the dream world. One quiet evening, after a long day of guiding dreamers, Caden sat in his small apartment overlooking the city, lost in thought. The city's skyline, with its towering skyscrapers and hovering vehicles, glittered with the lights of a world that had become increasingly dependent on technology. Humanity had evolved far beyond what the ancients could have imagined. Yet Caden couldn't shake the feeling that they had lost something along the way. His neural interface blinked, notifying him of a new dreamer in need. And with a sigh, Caden connected to the dream world, closing his eyes as the familiar sensation of drifting took over. He felt the weight of his physical body lift, replaced by the ethereal sensation of the dream realm, enveloping him completely. This was his second home, a place where the boundaries of time and space blurred, and anything was possible. As he entered the dream world, Caden found himself standing at the edge of a vast sea. The water shimmered like liquid glass, reflecting a sky full of unfamiliar constellations. He had been here before, many times. This was a place where lost souls often drifted, searching for answers to questions they couldn't quite form. Caden scanned the horizon, expecting to see the unusual appearance of a dreamer seeking guidance. Yet, to his surprise, the sea remained empty, save for a single figure sitting by the shoreline. The figure was an old man, his back hunched, his long silver hair flowing in the gentle breeze. He seemed at peace, his gaze fixed on the horizon, as if waiting for something or someone. "Who are you?" Caden called out, approaching the old man cautiously. The man turned slowly, revealing a face lined with wrinkles, but eyes that sparkled with a youthful energy. "Ah," he said softly, a faint smile playing on his lips. "I've been waiting for you, Dreamkeeper." Caden frowned. "Waiting for me? Do we know each other?" The old man chuckled, his laughter low and knowing. "Not yet, but we will." Caden hesitated, unsure of how to respond. He had guided countless dreamers through the most bizarre and surreal experiences. But something about this man felt different. There was an air of familiarity, as if Caden had met him before, in another time, maybe another life. "Are you a dreamer?" Caden asked, his voice steady but curious. The old man shook his head. "No, I'm not a dreamer, and neither are you. Not in the way you think." Caden's frown deepened. What do you mean?" The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "You've spent so long guiding others through their dreams. But tell me, Dreamkeeper, who guides you?" The question took Caden by surprise. He had never considered it before. His entire existence revolved around helping others navigate the complexities of the dream world, ensuring they found what they were searching for. He was the guide, the one who provided answers, not the one seeking them. "I don't need guidance," Caden replied slowly, though the uncertainty in his voice was clear. I know this realm better than anyone." The old man's smile widened even more. "Ah, but that's where you're wrong. Even the guide needs a path." Before Caden could respond, the world around them began to shimmer and shift. The shoreline faded, replaced by a dense forest. The trees towered above them, their branches reaching into the sky like ancient sentinels guiding a long-forgotten secret. The air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, and the soft rustling of leaves seemed to whisper an ancient wisdom. Caden blinked, momentarily disoriented. Where are we?" The old man gestured to the forest around them. "This is the dream of the universe, the collective mind, the place where all dreams begin." Caden's breath caught in his throat. He had heard rumors of such a place, a realm beyond the individual subconscious, where the collective unconscious of all beings converged. But he had never believed it. He had never believed it was real. You brought me here?" The old man nodded. "I did. And I brought you here for a reason. It's time you learn the truth about who you are, about who we are." Caden's heart raced. "Who we are?" The old man's expression softened. "You and I, we are the same." Caden stared at him in disbelief. "Well, that's impossible. You're an old man, and I'm much younger. We can't be the same person." The old man chuckled again, a sound that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the forest. "Not yet, but you will be." Before Caden could process the implications of the old man's words, the forest shimmered once more, and they were suddenly standing in a small room. It was a child's bedroom, the walls painted a soft blue, and the floor littered with toys. A small bed with a colorful blanket sat in the corner, and the faint smell of lavender filled the air. Caden's eyes widened in shock. He knew this room. It was his childhood bedroom, a place he hadn't seen in decades. How is this possible? Caden whispered, his voice barely audible. The old man smiled sadly. This is your dream, Caden. Every part of it. You've spent your life guiding others, but you've never truly explored your own subconscious mind. Caden shook his head, his mind racing. No, this can't be. I've been here before. This is real. This was my room. The old man placed a gentle hand on Caden's shoulder. It feels real because you believe it. But it's all just a creation, a projection of your mind. Caden stepped back, his heart pounding. No, this isn't possible. I'm awake. I'm real. The old man's expression softened. Are you? Or are you just another dream? Another part of the collective consciousness? Caden's legs gave out beneath him, and he sank to the floor, his hands trembling. I don't understand. The old man knelt beside him, his voice gentle. You've spent your life helping others, but you've never truly awakened to the nature of reality. This world, this dream, it's all a reflection of your mind. Everything you see, everything you experience, is a manifestation of your beliefs. Caden looked up at him, his eyes filled with desperation. But what does that mean? What am I supposed to do? The old man smiled. You're supposed to wake up. Caden looked at the old man beside him, his mind whirling with confusion and fear. He had spent his entire life believing that his role as a dreamkeeper had some higher purpose, that guiding others was a sacred duty. But now, this stranger was challenging everything he had come to accept as truth. Wake up? Caden asked, his voice shaking. Wake up from what? The old man's gaze was kind, but very firm. From the illusion, Caden. The illusion of separation. The illusion of time, of space, of individuality. You are not separate from the dreamers you guide. You are not separate from the world around you. You are not even separate from me. Caden shook his head. I don't understand. How can I be you? How can we be the same? The old man stood, helping Caden to his feet. Let me show you. The room shimmered again, and they were no longer in Caden's childhood bedroom. Instead, they stood on a mountaintop, the world spread out beneath them like a vast, intricate tapestry. The sky above them was painted with the colors of a setting sun, and the air was crisp and cool. This is where it all began, the old man said quietly. This is where I first realized the truth. Caden frowned, looking around. Where are we? The old man smiled again. We are in your mind, Caden, but we are also in mine. This is the place where I had my awakening. The place where I first understood that life, reality, everything we experience is a dream. Caden felt a strange sense of déjà vu as he looked out over the landscape. He had never been to this place before, and yet it felt familiar, as if he had stood on this mountaintop many, many times before. I don't remember this, Caden said softly. You wouldn't, the old man replied. Not yet. Caden turned to face him. What are you trying to tell me? That none of this is real? The old man shook his head. No, not that it isn't real, but that it isn't what you think it is. This world, this life, is a reflection of your beliefs. What you see, what you experience, is a manifestation of your consciousness. Caden's brow furrowed. But what does that even mean? What am I supposed to do with that? The old man chuckled softly. You are supposed to realize that you are the creator of your reality. You are both the dreamer and the dream, the architect and the participant. Caden's heart pounded in his chest. But if I'm the creator, why don't I remember creating any of this? Why does it all feel so real? Because you forgot, the old man said simply. We all forget when we enter the dream. It's part of the process. But now, you have the chance to remember, to wake up to the truth. Caden took a long, deep breath, trying to steady himself. The old man's words were unsettling, but there was something about them that resonated deep within him, something that felt undeniably true. Well, how do I wake up? Caden asked quietly. The old man smiled. You already have. The moment you asked the question, you began the process. The rest is simply remembering. Caden looked out over the vast landscape once more, his mind spinning with the enormity of what was being told. Was it possible that everything he had ever known, everything he had ever believed, was just a dream? And if so, what did that mean for his life, for his purpose? Why me? Caden asked, his voice barely a whisper. Why are you telling me this? The old man's expression softened. Because I am you, Caden. I have lived this life before, made the same choices, asked the same questions. And now, I'm here to guide you, just as someone once guided me. Caden's breath caught in his throat. You're saying you're my future self? The old man nodded slowly. Yes, I have come back to this moment to point you in your life, because this is where everything changes. This is where you begin to understand who you truly are. Caden's mind reeled again. It was too much to take in, too much to process all at once. He had always believed in the power of the dream world, in the idea that the subconscious mind held deeper truths. But this was beyond anything he had ever imagined. I don't know if I'm ready for this, Caden admitted, his voice trembling. The old man's smile was warm and reassuring. You are. You've always been ready. You just didn't know it. Caden looked down at his hands, his mind racing. He had spent his life guiding others, helping them navigate the complexities of their dreams. But now, it seemed that he was the one in need of guidance. What happens now? Caden asked softly. The old man's eyes twinkled with amusement. Now, you wake up. Not from the dream, but to it. Caden blinked, and suddenly, he was back in his own room, lying in bed. The memory of the dream was vivid in his mind, but something was different. The air felt lighter, the world around him was more alive. He knew without a doubt that everything he had experienced was real. Not in the way he had once thought, but in a deeper, more profound sense. As he got up and prepared for the day, he found himself smiling. Life itself was a dream, but he was both the creator and the participant. And now, finally, he understood. The lesson here? Life is a reflection of what we choose to believe. We are both the dreamer and the architect of our reality. And it's in that understanding that we find true peace. Good night and namaste.